Sir, let's take it from you. Ano ba po ba ang basa niyo sa situation? On the one hand, we're preparing for a lifting of the ECQ, whether you call that MECQ or a full-on GCQ. People are taking that as siguro medyo konting pwedeng luwag-luwagan ng kaunti. On the other hand, here you are, you're talking about, no, let's maintain the emergency powers for government. Is that irreconcilable? Or where does that put us? What's the full context of the situation for you?
Yes, well, even if we will downgrade the status in Metro Manila and Laguna and Cebu to a GCQ, there is still a need for the president to be given this what we call the necessary powers to
Hmm.
carry out the Republic Act 11-469, because the only time that he could not be able to allow him to continue using special powers is when really there is a flattening of the curve. There is no
Hmm.
more pandemic is under control. That's the only way when we can say that we have already passed that stage where we will be able to get funds to continue with their business, continue with the employment of our people instead of laying off more layoffs. So, in other words, the president needs still these powers, and the main power really that you have given under Republic Act 11469 is the power to discontinue any project of the government in the 2020 budget so that he can realign them, because
Hmm.
all of these programs would need additional funding. So
Yes.
discontinue the non-essential projects and give it to what is needed by our people, both the what the needs of our low-income families, the needs of the workers, the needs of the businessmen, and everybody, all sectors in our society. Yes, Roy.
Yung pong realignment ng budget, does that have to be in the context of addressing the public health crisis, or is it realignment in any direction? In other words, the president can basically say, no, just like before, we need to realign, but this time around, I want to realign it, for example, to the infrastructure, I want to realign it to business stimulus and so on.
Yes, precisely. It is not only this realignment. It's not only to meet the medical needs of our people, no, to the health needs under this
Hmm.
pandemic, but we go on the needs of labor, the needs of the micro, small, and medium enterprises, the need of the different industries, the manufacturing, the tourism industry, and this requires that the president should have that leeway to be able to really look for funds to be able to finance this, to be able
Okay.
for us to get back to our feet, not only on the medical aspect and the need for the giving of social amelioration to our people, but also to continue with businesses, infrastructure, and so forth. So there is a need to have the president continue. By June 24 is the expiration of the 3-month period given by our Congress, but it is subject to extension. And I believe that on June 24, we are not yet over the hill. And that is why we have
Congressman,
to
will
keep
it be
going.
the,
Yes.
yeah, Congressman, will it be the exact same emergency powers and the exact same parameters? I ask because we've also had a couple of months under this emergency powers. If people understand the extraordinariness of the situation and therefore the extraordinary things that the president needs to address this. But we've also learned some very hard lessons in terms of inefficiencies, questions about transparency and so on. Kung i-extend po yung emergency power, are you going to propose some additional parameters as well? Something to improve the implementation of it also by way of transparency and by way of efficiency?
Well, Congress has always the oversight to look into the reports of the president and what we see in media and what we hear from our people in our constituencies. And yes, that can be possible. But to me, all of these powers and responsibilities are already in the law. That's why my bill
Mm.
is very simple. It will just add 3 months to this. We don't change anymore. We don't change the rules in midstream. It's still there, but the accountability should be more pronounced because there are issues about the purchase of
Mm.
test of equipment. So this, I think, the president should be able to have this being considered so that we can smoothly continue to carry on how to fight COVID-19. Robin, yes.
Congressman,
So it's
Congressman,
just the simple. We cannot anymore discuss what to put in the bill. The bill is complete in itself. It's a matter of implementation. Now, it's good that people has come out to tell the president, Mr. President, some cabinet members, this and that. There may be some issues of not properly implementing it. So therefore, the president has all the powers to be able to revamp cabinet, put in new people, be able to instruct that there should be more drive against corruption. And he has been doing that by his pronouncements. There will be many officials of the local governments that will be responsible, that will be brought to justice because they failed in the delivery of the social emulation fund. So this is continuing. And so therefore, I believe that the powers are sufficient there, including the implementation aspect that the executive should do. Congress can only recommend, and therefore they cannot act because we do not implement. We only put policy. And in that policy of Republic Act 11469, everything has been given to the executive to properly implement it.